Hello everybody, this is DisturbingPuppet back again for some more Blood Bowl 2. So we're continuing my campaign with the High Elf team that I've been playing. I think this is the fifth, it looks like fifth game of this second round. What I wanted to have was all the teams playing every other team twice. So for this game, as opposed to the first one, I'm going to have to set up a couple round robins which don't tally together. I would prefer if they did, like in the previous game. I had a bit more options, but make the best of what we got. So this is the second round robin, and this is the fifth game. So I'll be playing the Goblins this time. So there'll just be a couple left in that before we go into the playoffs. And the playoffs, I just have 8 teams total in this kind of division. And just the top 4 teams will make it into playoffs. There'll be one playoff game, essentially, and then the final. So playing High Elves because I wanted to do something a little different, play a bit more agile. Most of my experience, both with the board game and with the computer game, the previous version and this one, has been with kind of bruiser teams. And my instincts are often to sort of hit stuff, make openings, and go from there, which I'm trying to get away from a little bit. I do really enjoy a bit more of the agile play sometimes. I can make them kind of interesting, getting away from the blocking a bit. I have to think a bit more, and that's one of the things that I do think the downside of the turn limit in this game is that with the more agile teams, it really is more difficult to set that stuff up and plan it with only a 4-minute max turn limit. I really wish you could up that like you could in the previous game, at least to 8 minutes, or just make it unlimited, especially if you're playing against the AI. Why not? But anyway, we'll take a look at the teams here real quick. So I'm playing my High Elf team, continuing with them. Doing fairly well, pretty high team value. So the Goblins are going to have a lot of money for all kinds of horrible things, star players and dirty tricks and that kind of stuff. So we've got one thrower in my team. So far I've picked up Strong Arm and Kickoff Return with him. Not sure what I'll go for next. We are getting very close to getting another advancement with him. I've got 4 catchers now, so I have 2 of them that now have catch, dodge, and block. One of them, however, has been injured and lost a point of armor value, as you can see here. Then I've got a couple other catchers. Both of these guys rolled doubles, so I ended up going with the Nerves of Steel with them just to pick something I couldn't normally take, which basically means I'll ignore modifiers for catch or intercepts or potentially even passing. All my guys have a 4 agility, so really I can do almost anything with them. Passing, catching, handing off the ball, handling the ball, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, they are very expensive. That's kind of the downside. So I did start with an Apothecary, which kind of put me in the hole early on for money, but we've been doing pretty well. So this is one of my blitzers that's gotten the most upgrades. So I picked up Tackle and Strip Ball with him, starting with block. And then I've got one other blitzer down here just with block, very close to leveling up as well. I've got 3 linemen here that have leveled up and have picked up the block skill. And then I've got one that I picked up the guard skill with. And then I've got one other lineman here that's also lost a point of armor. 7 is okay. I haven't gotten rid of him mainly because my guys are so expensive, and having 1 less point of armor isn't too big of an issue. So we'll just kind of see what happens, especially with this guy with so many other skills and things. I'm just going to deal with it. He's more likely to get injured. Might cost me money down the road, but for right now we're doing okay. So I'll take a look at the Goblins here. We've got all kinds of crazy stuff. I haven't looked at their roster in a while. I did play them before. Wow, look at all this stuff. I played them once before, so this is the second time in this season playing them. I beat them up pretty well last time. We've got a Bombardier. So the bomb, you can throw a bomb instead of taking another action. Bomb is used for the rules to throwing a ball. Let's see. All skills may be used when a ball is thrown, can be used when a bomb is thrown. Bomb can be intercepted or caught. Okay, I'm not sure I'd want to do that. Ball explodes when it lands at an empty square or an opponent, or an opportunity to catch the bomb fails. When the bomb finally does explode, any player in the same square is knocked down, and players adjacent square are knocked down on a roll of 4 or better. Okay. We've got dodge, stunty, leap, actually. Secret weapon, so he'll be gone after 1 round to play unless he picks up a bribe, which he might. Sidestep. That's a whole lot of skills for a guy there. He's got a couple trolls, so we've got increased armor value, mighty blow, throw, multiple block. So we can throw blocks against 2 adjacent opponents, make each block in turn as normal, except that each defender's strength is increased by 2. Okay, so he could block a couple guys basically evenly instead of one guy with an advantage, but if he's got assists, it won't really matter too much. Trouble with block, this is more dangerous, actually. The big guys can only get block pretty much for all the teams, only if they roll doubles, so this is something you really is very helpful to have with your frontline guys. So that is not good for me. Break tackle there so we can move him around as well. Got a Pogoer with block. Okay. A Fanatic. Yeah, the Fanatic caused me some problems last time. Not real happy about seeing more Fanatics again. We've got a whole ton of Goblins here. So right stuff dodge and stunty is our normal thing. Sidestep. I can never remember what these icons are looking at stuff. I would rather just see the skills listed. Block, I know that's block, so that's the same, so that's sidestep, sidestep, block, block. So he's got quite a few that have picked up block and sidestep. And then we've got a Looney with a chainsaw. Okay, lots of potential damage being inflicted by these guys, actually. So let's get to it, I guess. I'm not going to spend any money on any upgrades or anything, I'll just deal with it. He's going to get a bunch of things, so Bribe, which is good. He's got a few things, a few guys with secret weapons, so that'll help him. Halfing Master Chef will take away some of my rerolls. Bloodweiser Babe, these guys are less likely to get knocked out, or more, I think they're more likely to recover from a knockout. So all my previous games for this season are up on YouTube as well. I'll put stuff up on YouTube eventually after it's been on Twitch for a bit, and then I've got some other games. The previous season I played Chaos Dwarves, so most of that is up. All the games that I streamed are up on my YouTube channel as well. That's also Disturbing Puppet, and then I've got a few other games that I played randomly. So I do play other stuff occasionally, just kind of Blood Bowl, sort of an easy thing to jump in and play, and I enjoy playing some of these teams. Since I had the 360 version of the previous game, I didn't get a chance to play with Undead, Chaos Dwarves, High Elves, and a lot of the other teams weren't in the previous 360 version. So that's kind of what I've been focusing on with this game. I haven't picked up all the teams. They've added like the vampires and goblins and some of that other stuff. The Kislev Circus. They still show up as opponents, even though I haven't picked them up. But I haven't actually picked them up yet. I just have the basic ones, and then I picked up the additional like Lizardmen, Khemri, and Norse, and that kind of stuff. If I'm going to do another season, Norse is probably what I would lean towards. Haven't been able to play them before, so that would be kind of fun, I think. Okay, he's going to steal 2 of my rerolls. And he is taking the ball. So actually, that's what I prefer. I like getting the ball in the second half. If you're playing a kind of weaker team, you might want to go first, though. So like in his case with Goblins, it's probably not a bad idea to go first. You can get your hits in first that way, do some damage to the opponent's team. But what I'm going to do, especially with all these guys here, is have the very fewest guys on the front line that I possibly can, and probably even making it so my guys that are on the front line, I don't really care if they get trashed. But we'll see. So looking for my player with guard. I definitely want him on the field. So I'm going to do pretty typical setup for me. We'll kind of see once I have things set. I'm going to kind of put some tips in for general early beginner players, just to kind of things to keep in mind or walk you through my thought process as I'm doing stuff. I'm definitely not like the best person in the world at this game, and I will miss things, especially with the timer and with kind of streaming. Sometimes you get distracted a bit and kind of lose track of what's going on. It happens. So I'm definitely not a perfect person, but I'll try to throw some basic kind of hints and tips and things in. So this is not his setup. This is just sort of the standard thing it threw out. The kicking team sets up first, then he is going to get a setup any way he wants to. So I could leave. I've got my 3 guys with block here on the front line. I could swap them out for sort of weaker linemen and throw them in because it doesn't matter so much if they get hurt. But just for general purposes, I think I'll keep these guys out here for now. It does mean they are going to take some shots. I'm hoping the block will help with that. At least it's possible. But this kind of setup is what I'll often do with a weaker team or a team that I'm trying to limit the number of people on the front line. 3 is the minimum you have to have. So I kind of have them there, but then sort of a setup back line. I have the guy with guard set back a little bit just so that he's less likely to have somebody adjacent to him if this guy gets taken down and they push forward. So I can move him where I want to. And then keeping my thrower back deep in case things go wrong. So this is kind of a typical sort of setup that I'll often go with. If a more bruiser team, I'll maybe have the 5 guys either in one block here or 3 and then 1 out on each side. Basically trying to get an advantage to deal with this center area. So I just want to check the stream really quick. If there's anything weird with the sound or anything, let me know. I'll occasionally check the chat, but I do have to Alt-Tab out to do that. Alright, let's get going. A little nervous about this. Okay, for kicking, the X here is sort of the center position, and that's just what I go for. Basically, I just want the ball to stay in play. It deviates a lot in this game. It feels like it deviates more than the previous one. I also don't have anybody with kick, so I just want the ball to stay on the field, so he's got to make the die rolls to pick it up. The more dice rolls your opponent has to make, the more likely they are to screw something up. She's going to get to move somebody over. Hopefully he won't catch it. That's unfortunate. So he's starting with a pretty good advantage there. Somebody already has the ball. It's less dice he's got to roll on his turn.
What was your favorite moment as a Blood Bowl player?
These guys with the secret weapons are going to cause me some problems here. The trolls may be a problem too, of course. With teams like Goblins or even Lizardmen, they have kind of weaker players that are the main ball handlers. So what I often will want to do is hurt those players, especially with the Lizardmen. If you can really target the skinks and do a lot of damage to them, there's a good chance that you can take out pretty much all of his players that have a good chance of handling the ball. Here I'm just hoping my guys don't get hurt. He didn't actually throw any more blocks. That's kind of interesting. So if I want to move people away, that's what I will probably want to do. I don't necessarily want people adjacent here. I'd like to dodge them out of these positions, and then we'll kind of attack around from the sides as well. I'm not sure about leaving him here. I'd kind of prefer having him back a little bit. In Blood Bowl, you want to do the safe things first, so things that don't require any die rolls. It's typically what you want to go for. Then sort of important things. So we're just going to see what I can do as far as getting around the sides here. So I'm just going to sort of threaten here. Try to attack the cage he's building from every direction if possible. Yeah, the 7th strength is really difficult to deal with. The Fanatics typically just try to get away from them if possible. They can potentially hit his own guys and cause problems for him, though. I could leave him here and maybe throw a block on the Goblin, just to kind of break things up in the center. But I kind of would prefer to sort of be back and just sort of in the way, so he'd have to try to blitz to deal with this. I don't want to overcommit too much, even though my guys are pretty quick, so I'm just going to sort of try to tie up some goblins here. And I may try to blitz the chainsaw guy. If he goes down, there's a better chance of him getting hurt. I'd also like to deal with this bombardier, though. But I have to go way out. Yeah, I can get to him if I go for it once. Going for it in this game has not been the safest thing for me, though. I've had a lot of really bad luck with going for it rolls. It's at least 50% that I fail it, even though it's supposed to be a 1 in 6 chance. So I think we'll just kind of do the safer thing, and we'll just sort of attack the chainsaw guy. I may try to hang up the bombardier as well.
That's a holding maneuver, if ever I saw one.
So I'm just going to go hammer this chainsaw guy, hopefully get an injury on him. KO. That'll take him out until play stops, at least. So it does this with your, if you take out the person when you're blitzing, it sort of looks like you can't use the player anymore, but you just click on it again, you can still use them, as long as you don't do anything with anyone else first. Here I'm just going to stand this guy up, but I definitely want these people away from the fanatic if possible. So I'll have to make some dodge rolls there, so we'll wait to do that. Of course, I'm running out of time. So I'm just going to pull back here a little bit in case I need an assist. And try to dodge out of this position. We're just going to stay there, see if we can dodge out of this position. And him, I'm actually going to move back a little bit further because of that fanatic. I'm still trying to maintain some tackle zone coverage through here. So for right now, I'm just kind of creating more of a softer pocket while trying to attack from the sides and the back here.
To assist their teammates.
Actually pulling a few guys over there, kind of interesting. Well, the troll is blitzing, that's not happy. Not happy for me. Well, no injury, that's good.
And the great unclean. But this time, no miracle.
He's just going to try to build the cage a little bit further over there instead.
They're gathering around that lone player, like halflings round a sandwich. That could have been worse. That one's got fists bigger than ham joints.
I don't like the way he's surrounding my catcher who's down on the ground there. That makes me a little nervous. Yeah, not any way I can really get a good hit on the ball carrier. I can get a hit, but it's not ideal. I'd have to leave some people in kind of bad positions. So I could stand him up and then move somebody over adjacent to the fanatic to cancel their tackle zone, and then go in with a blitz and hit the ball carrier from this direction. It's not too bad of an option. Just looking if there's anything else I want to do first. or if I want to blitz anywhere else. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and do that. So unfortunately, he's just going to keep getting beat up here a bit. So I have to move over to cancel this tackle zone so I can still have the advantage for the blitz, hitting the ball carrier, the strength advantage that is. Okay, he's going to go down. I will follow it up. See where the ball ends up. So I've got a couple guys right back there that are open. Oh, he ended up with the ball. That's not great. I really don't want you with the ball, especially not next to a pogoer like that. Attempting to kind of dodge him out of that position. It's only a -1 here. Try for it. See if we can get away. Okay. Now, ideally, I'd like to get the ball to my thrower. It's a little crazy to do that. You can't throw after a blitz. I could potentially go for it a couple times, try to hand it off to my catcher. That's not too bad of an option, except I've had horrible luck with going for it rolls. I really don't want to be anywhere near these guys, though, so I'm going to try for it. I still have the rerolls. Okay, try for the handoff here. No, I can't hand off either. Okay. All right. Those are the things that it almost never comes up unless you're playing a really agile team. So some of the rules have changed too compared to board game versus computer game. So sometimes that stuff can be a little confusing, even for someone who's played lots and lots of hours of the game. Move some people up to just sort of assist and protect for now.
They're building a cage around the ball here. It's a solid tactic.
Try to just sort of cause some problems here for him. I might want to move a catcher out so I have somebody deep that can get in for a score if I need to. Try to get away from there. I'd really like to hit that bombardier, so we're going to try to move in a position to do that. And we're going to try to get out of that position. Oh. Yeah, sure, why not?
Anybody catch the ball tonight?
And I'll leave my blitzer here free just in case things go wrong, and I can maybe use him to blitz somebody. I'm going to move him out to the other side, just so he's also a potential receiver, and I might be able to use him. There's quite a few goblins over here as well. With the really agile teams, there's a lot of times when it seems like it's not possible I can do this, but there's always that chance. A lot of times it's just a couple 60% or 50% die rolls, and if you've got re-rolls, then there's a good chance you can actually succeed at some crazy stuff sometimes. Oh, he's totally going to miss my guy there. Okay. That worked out all right.
Right next to a team.
He's going to try swarming my catcher here again. And this poor guy is going to get hammered again. Just hoping for no injuries here. There's a goblin with block actually taking somebody down. What is he doing? Oh, he must have fumbled tossing a bomb. That must have been what that was. I may do a blitz here just to hit the goblin that you can't really see behind the troll, and just to sort of free things up, maybe to get the catcher out of there. That's a possibility. I'd like to get these guys away. This, I've got a good block here. We'll definitely throw. And I've got a pretty good protection here for my ball carrier for now. Who would I like to score? That's something to think about. You want people with less star player points to be the ones scoring, if you can. So the catcher here, but he's probably going to throw a block. This blitzer, this catcher, I might be able to free up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this blitz first, just to try to take out this goblin that's here that you can't really see very well. Maybe get the catcher out of there. Unfortunately, just a push. But since I've got tackle, we'll go down. I'm going to stay put. I don't want to be next to the troll. And then we'll try to tie up another goblin here. So I'm going to see if I can get out of here. 83% failing, so we have to use the reroll. So I don't think I mentioned it in this one, but in Blood Bowl, if things can go wrong, they will go wrong. So that's just another one of those examples. Even if with an 83% chance of something happening, it can still go wrong. So he's going to be my main target for someone I'm going to want to score with. He's got less star player points than the other guys, so that's kind of what I'd be looking at. But I'd also like to do some damage to the goblins if I can, and keep myself relatively protected. So I've got an okay chance here, although he does have block. I will go ahead and do this. It's just a push, though. Just kind of moving in position where I can get some blocks off on his guys if everything goes well for next turn. He'll probably try to dodge out of those positions and stuff, though. This guy's not in a real good position. I do have one space I can dodge to here, so I probably want to do that. Here I'd like to hand off to my thrower.
Depends if the receiving player can grab it without dropping it. Simple as that.
It's a pretty far pass here. I've used my reroll already, but this is all covered. All the rerolls and stuff. I've got pass, I've got catch, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. Alright, works out well. I get a level up for my thrower that way. The other option, if I was taking more time, would be to slowly grind up the field, but then it's a little safer on this side than this side. Grinding up the field, I mean slowly moving forward, beating down your opponents, that kind of thing. Just moving it up to make things harder for him to get to the ball carrier. I'd like to get these guys away and out of danger if I can. Trying to get adjacent to guys. My agility being so high, it's really unusual, actually, kind of feeling so many things I can do, it seems like. Playing slower teams, especially like dwarves and stuff, and then going to a faster, more agile team like Skaven or High Elves or Wood Elves, it feels like a totally different game. So if you haven't played around with the teams, definitely do that. Try different teams. You might find that you really prefer beating people up much more than being agile, or you really prefer agile teams over the bruiser teams. It just depends.
Smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
Pretty much kept that Fanatic from doing much of anything this game. I've gotten kind of lucky so far with them missing some people. So here I'm not in a huge rush to score. I actually got some pretty advantageous blocks here potentially I can take as long as he doesn't dodge out of them. So I may want to do some damage to his team here if I can. Okay, just a stun. That's always really nerve-wracking when that happens. A huge guy comes charging at your catcher. The high elf catchers are actually really good. I'm kind of using them as blitzers and catchers because they do have a 3 strength, and I've got some of them now with dodge and catch. So there's a lot of versatility there. Good movement, 3 strength. A lot of the other teams' catchers only have a 2 strength. So what I'm going to do here is just sort of run over. I don't want to score yet. I want to throw some blocks this turn. So I'm just going to move in a position where I'm a little bit closer. It's very easy to get into the end zone, a little further away from most of his guys. And we'll see if we can take out the guys that are closer and do some damage just in general. Just trying to tie up some of his guys here. Doing the safe things first. Since I've got my player with guard here, I'm going to go ahead and blitz back here just to do some damage in the back if I can. Just pushes, unfortunately. Dodge just make them a little bit harder to deal with. And because of this troll, I've only got a 1-die block here, which isn't very helpful. Try to take out this bombardier if we can. I don't really want him hanging around if we can. No injury, that's unfortunate. Try down here, see if we can take out this goblin. So in that position, I'm going to move him over just to kind of deal with this goblin and make it less likely he can get out of this and towards my ball carrier. Dodge is kind of saving him here. Yeah, I'd like to get a hit on this goblin as well, and I can if I move the thrower up adjacent to the troll and have an advantageous block. But then it puts the thrower in a really bad position. He does have 8 armor, but he just get a level up. He's a really important player for my team. I really don't want to put him at risk, so I'm not going to. I might move him down as a potential distraction, but I really don't want him just getting hammered, and so I'm going to pull him out as well if I can. And we'll try to get over and protect from this side from the ball carrier. So I've got him pretty well protected, pretty good decent distance from most of his players. I still have some advantageous blocks if I want to try to take him next turn. So doing alright, I think. Watching the turns here as well. Turn management is something else you want to think about if you're playing. You don't necessarily want to score super fast sometimes. You don't want to give the ball back to your opponent if they've got enough time to do stuff with it sometimes. Depends on how close the game is, what's going on.
I've seen mushrooms.
But it's something to kind of think about is most teams need at least 2 turns to score, and that's mostly agile teams need 2 turns. Slower teams, Chaos or Dwarves or Chaos Dwarves, you're looking at probably at least 3 or 4 turns to score generally. Sometimes it can go super well for them, depending on circumstances. Yeah, I've got a pretty good kind of brawl going on here that I'd like to keep going and keep doing some damage with. So I'm going to prioritize blocking here this turn, I think. I definitely want this guy away from these two, the Troll and the Fanatic. We'll see what kind of damage we can possibly do here. We've got blocks here. We'll start with the Blitzer, who's got Tackle. Counteracts the dodge ability. Also have block, which will take him down. Not having very good damage rolls this game. And we both have blocks, so I'm not going to do anything here. So I have my player with guard here right in the middle of this big mess, so I can throw some pretty good blocks here. That's not good. I'm out of rerolls as well. So like I said before, if things can go wrong, they will. So this is an example. Even with an advantage, you're sometimes going to roll 2 attacker down results. That's one of those reasons you want to do those important things first. He's going to fail. Is really stupid again.
This player should be brain transplant.
We got a double.
Did this guy leave his brain in the dug out?
It's not even showing what happened. He must have fumbled again. And we got an injury. Lose a point of movement. Oh, that went away super fast. That was something that came up in a game before where I only had about 4 seconds to decide. That was even quicker, so I'm hoping that's not a glitch for this game, because that's going to basically mean it'll make it impossible for me to actually use my Apothecary. But yeah, in a previous game I had it come up once, and then the second time I counted, and it was literally 4 seconds to decide if you're going to use your Apothecary or not before it went away. That looked like it was more like 2, maybe 3. I probably wouldn't use it that early anyway, especially for a lineman losing a point of movement. But it was my player with guard. He doesn't move around too much, so it's not too big of a deal. So I still have some blocks here I think I'm going to go ahead and try to take, even though what happened last time happened. I could even possibly foul this goblin that's down on the ground if I wanted to. He does have block and I don't, so I'm not going to do that quite yet. I'll do other stuff first. Things where I've got a skill and dice advantage. Like if I had rolled that for that block, that would have been it for my turn. And here I'm actually going to blitz. You can blitz if you're down, you just have to declare it before you get up, just so that I can hit this goblin here. Just trying to do as many hits as I can to cause some damage. And both of these are going to be push results. Because he has dodge, I'm not going to follow up. So really my only option here, I could foul this guy if I wanted to. I don't have anybody I can really spare for that, just in case they get caught. So I'm going to go ahead and score, which will mean that his guys with the secret weapons will be out for the rest of the game. We're down to him only having a couple turns left. At least in the half, so we'll be getting the ball at the start of the second half too, so he'll have a couple turns, and possibly I'm going to get the ball away from him again, see if I can score. But we'll see. I can't remember if he got a bribe or not. I think he got one bribe, but he's got multiple guys with secret weapons, so we'll see who he uses it on. So he's keeping the bombardier. It should be chainsaw guy's gone.
Has the referee finally noticed the team's secret weapon?
A secret weapon. Doesn't stay long on the pitch, but it's so good while it's there.
So I'm going to bring out a lineman who just needs 1 point to level up. Kind of paying attention to how close people are to leveling up is something else you want to use people if you can. To be eligible for an MVP, your guy has to be in for some plays, so you might want to rotate guys out if you have extra. It's not a problem you have early on, but later down the road, if you want to have guys level up, at least have a chance of getting the MVP award. So again, I'm kicking even though he had the ball to start with. I scored, so I'm kicking back to him. So this is my setup. I have no idea what his setup is actually going to be. This isn't actually really what it's going to be. Except that he didn't change anything. Okay. Same kind of thing. We're just kind of going for the center. We want the ball to stay in play. He's going to get to move around a little bit. So the ball's going to land way back there. So he's going to have to make die rolls to pick it up. If he fails, it's a turnover. So hoping he'll screw something up here, give me a turnover, and I can try to rush down with my 2 turns, try to get the ball and then score again. Not super likely, but it'd be nice. But since he's already used his bribe, it does mean that he'll definitely be losing the bombardier for the second half of the game. Bombardier is carrying the ball.
That's a solid formation. I want to see the opposing team have a go at the ball now.
Just a push. That was lucky. And also just a push. That's kind of odd that he would make a lateral dodge like that.
The bed bugs bite? Really? Don't let them. They're massive and can take your hand right off.
So that ends up in a turnover for him, so he's going to be able to do a little bit less stuff. So what I need to do is have people in position that if I get the ball free, they can score. My guys are fast enough to do that. I'm not sure I'll be able to get the ball free, though, in the time I've got. But even from here, I can think of run in. Yeah, even from here, I can run in without having to go for it at all. So if I can get the ball free and get it to a catcher who's further down, then should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and blitz here. Just kind of hit the edge of the cage he's got building around the ball carrier. See if we can do some damage and get in. Cause some problems.
Unity is strength.
Tackle again, helping me out. I'm going to push him in front of him, blocking his way. Follow him up. Kind of creep around the side here. I don't want to take the risk of making dodge rolls. Just tying these guys up and hoping if he leaves them there I can throw some blocks next turn as well. I'd like to get him away from that troll. I've got a good block here. I'm just going to kind of lap around the side here. See if we can get anything from this block. And I'm actually going to stay put, just to kind of keep coverage in that center. And I didn't really want to move adjacent to a troll if I can avoid it. So we're going to try to dodge out here. And then just kind of move, tying up more of his goblins.
Should be good.
Still going to leave my thrower deep. I'm not really super worried with the amount of time he's got left. He's probably just going to creep forward here a little bit. Okay, get everybody away from the trolls.
You'll get an assist now. Just
So just trying to disrupt his plans, kind of converging on the ball carrier from as many directions as I can. I've got guys in position where I might be able to score with them. Mainly I think he's the only one here, this catcher, that will be in range if I can get the ball free. So getting the ball free is the big deal.
move right next
Let's see if he tries using a bomb again. That would be kind of fun.
Things about to get punched above and below the belt at the same time.
Wait, what? One less obstacle for the ball carrier. Tactical stuff.
Yeah, even if I get the ball free, I'm going to have somebody who's not my passer tossing the ball probably to the catcher. So it's possible.
This guy leaving
My guys have good agility, so there's always a chance. That's what I was waiting for. The more dice you make him roll, the more likely he'll screw something up eventually. So this guy is the only one I've really got in range. And see, he doesn't have to go for it at all to get into the end zone. I just somehow have to get the ball free and get it to him, which most likely will be tossing the ball. Now, he's out of turns. I don't have to worry too much about him doing anything else really on his turn. What can I do here? It's easier to attack from this side, but then getting the ball is going to be a problem. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw a block here, try to clear this guy out,
Likes to be well assisted.
free up my catcher. Doesn't work. So if I move this player, I can use him to blitz and hit him, since I've got block and he doesn't. Then maybe I can use the catcher if I dodge him out to pick up the ball, toss it to the other one. But that requires me getting the ball free here. I'm not sure that's going to happen.
This could be fun, especially if the ball mover goes down.
Does he have dodge? I think all of them have dodge, don't they? Yeah, even the special guys. That's unfortunate.
Are they dancing or fighting?
So really that just leaves me blocking and maybe fouling if I want to for this half, and that's about it.
The attacker has an assist.
Yeah, this is a case where block would be really helpful. That's one of the reasons block is so useful. Even if you have an advantage, it can always come up that way. No real damage though, I probably just would have thrown one other block and that would have been about it. But I'll be getting the ball now for the second half. He's going to be down that bombardier. Hoping no more injuries come up because of that weird timer issue with the injuries.
All the knockout players are back on the
He's going to steal one of my rerolls.
This team needs to and
So this time he's kicking, so I know for sure this is his setup. So it does mean that I can kind of position myself in a way to
stop it.
try to minimize getting pounded on. But he's put his trolls in pretty good positions here, so they're covering all but one space. If they were both in the center, I could move my guys out to the edge so they're not going to get hit. So things like that you can keep in mind. When you are receiving the ball, what you can also do, if he doesn't have anybody really on this line, you're not too worried about it, you can put your guys up here. With slower teams, it's really helpful to put these guys that might be handling the ball, running right up here, have somebody else deep who might get the ball and then hand it off to them, because that extra distance can make a huge difference with slower teams. Why would you pull... Where are my guys? Why are my blitzers on the front line? What is going on? Some of these setups are awfully strange sometimes. The linemen and the blitzers do kind of superficially look really similar, so it still kind of messes with me sometimes. It's really just kind of the wings on the helmets you can notice, but if they're adjacent to somebody else, it's hard to see sometimes. So what I'm thinking is attacking and moving the ball up on the right side. So I'm going to put my better guys on that side. Just the pogover's a little quicker and can deal with things a little bit better, so if I can move up here just against regular goblins, it might be better. That's pretty much the only thing I'm thinking about at that point. So I'm just keeping only my thrower back deep. He does have kickoff return, so hopefully he can get the ball and we can move it forward from there. He doesn't have sure hand, so picking up the ball still can sometimes go wrong, but it's 83%, but still, if things can go wrong, they will, and 83% chance we will fail sometimes.
Couldn't find it under a big pile of corpses.
So I think we'll call this good for the attack. I could potentially move these guys out to the edge or something, but it's not going to matter too much with these trolls. they're going to beat on me no matter what, and really I'm going to want to get away from them anyway on my turn, so we'll just kind of see where the ball ends up. Wow, a troll is kicking the ball. I've never seen that before. How does that happen if the trolls are on the front line? I don't get that. Get another reroll. Yeah, so there I could have just not and hoped that it would end up touching back, because now I can pick anybody I want on the field to have the ball. But just in case, you know, there's still that chance that it would come loose somewhere else and end up still on the field somewhere back here.
You know, I often think Blood Bowl might be better if we just got rid of the whole ball thing.
So I'm going to see what I can do about attacking on the right, but first we'll move anybody else we want to. So we're just going to try to tie up some of his guys. Make it so he's going to have to make more dodge rolls to move guys over to that other side. Even with the dodge skill, you know, if he has to make enough die rolls, he'll eventually fail some of them. So I'm just going to do what I can to disrupt things as much as possible. We'll go ahead and blitz and hit this guy here.
This player likes to be well assisted.
Just the push is unfortunate.
Twinkle toes there.
So following up here just so I can tie up another guy. He's still relatively covered. I'm going to try to get him out and then maybe move him around as well. With my catcher, it's tempting to just run down the field as far as I can, but then he's kind of out in the open and he could get swarmed. If I stay here, he could still get swarmed because of the trolls and stuff. So there's not always a super clear way to advance when you're in this kind of a position. Relatively safe block here. We both have block though, so it's not too likely to do anything. So what I'd like to do now is get these guys away from the trolls.
This formation gives them a safe progression. It's going to be hard to make them lose the ball.
Just kind of planning on, for right now, we'll just inch the ball forward here a little bit. I'll use a reroll. I've got 4. And he goes down anyway. And he's KO'd. So the KO roll seems to be fine for the timer. Just the much, much more serious injury roll seems to be screwed up. I'm just hoping it doesn't come up again. Kind of funny block animation there. That's not good.
Two big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
It reminds me of the
Okay, no injury though. Stunned isn't great, but could be a whole lot worse. one-die blocks like that are not something I will often do unless I'm going against the actual person carrying the ball. The AI will do that quite often. We'll even do blocks where it's got a strength disadvantage, even just in general. It seems to do it a lot, kind of a surprising amount of times. But it often works out for the AI, and it's one of those things where, if you're playing the game and you're rolling the physical dice, the board game, you can sort of feel like you're having good or bad luck. When the AI has super good luck and you have bad luck, it's sort of natural to kind of feel like something's not quite right, especially if it happens a lot. But I've seen the AI have bad luck too.
Yeah, smells like a good old-fashioned fight.
I've seen both myself and the AI fail a going for it roll and then fail rerolls every single time in a game, things like that. What am I going to do here with the ball? We'll try to move down and sort of defend ourselves further away, hoping that the trolls, or one of the trolls at least, ends up going stupid. The other option would be to just sort of swing back the other way and kill some time. Maybe try to throw some blocks and do some damage. Which isn't a super crazy idea, actually. Just see if we can hurt some goblins. There's another double attacker down. I hate seeing that double attacker down result. Does not make me happy. Yeah, getting through here is not going to be easy at all. Even if I just stay put with this troll and the other one coming, might get ground down here a bit.
On balance, I prefer the passing to
So actually, what I'm going to do is come down here and try to hand off.
The other. Sorry to you.
Gives me a little bit more mobility and movement.
If not spectacular play.
What's these guys? Movement 6. So what I can do now with him, because he can throw the ball very well and has strong arm and stuff, I can sort of run one direction and try to get him to commit that direction and then shift back. In this case, he's got a lot of guys here already, so moving back here, I could potentially be looking at tossing the ball down this way. But I'm also going to try to free this guy up and move him down.
If the player is pushed here, it will finish in the public and in general.
So I have targets on both sides of the field, maybe all across the field as potential receivers, just to kind of spread out what he's got to cover, cause more problems for him. So going for a kind of a much more safe approach here by pulling back. You just have to watch for movement, about how far these guys can move to get to you. He might be able to get to me if he goes for it a couple times. Yeah, I think he'd have to go for it at least twice, and he could just end up adjacent to me. I don't think he can actually blitz and hit me. You can see this kind of pocket that I had here is really crumbling. Trying to advance up that line against a couple trolls, not an easy thing to do. They're slow, though, that now that he's committed to this side, I might be able to move things along the other side of the field or toss further down. There's a turnover. I don't like these guys being here adjacent to these trolls, but that's kind of a low priority at this point. This guy can just stand up and tie up those guys, that's fine. So moving here so that I might have somebody as a target in the center if I want to. And then we'll move him up to sort of block the Pogor's advance.
They've gone into the opponent's tackle zone. They should be good.
I'll try to knock this guy out if I can. And just a push is unfortunate.
Is as slippery as a needle, but not quite.
See if we can get away from the troll. Just do what we can to tie up all his guys here. What I could do, it's a little risky, is blitz with him, move him up, hit this goblin, and then he could hit this goblin, both with some dice advantages. I do have to go for it to do that, but I've got rerolls and I haven't had to use them. So I'm going to go ahead and try for that. It's a little bit risky.
You'll get an assist now. That's it. Throw the ball in their face.
Yeah, just a push no matter what I do.
As if you were flinging a brick into them.
But I can move him over so I can have an advantageous block there. Yeah, I'll follow it up, I guess. So now I've got a 2-die block here as well. If I just moved him straight back, I wouldn't. It's another double attacker down result. And I'm just going to follow up to sort of deal with the other goblin that's still there. Now I got to deal with these guys. So we'll start with him because he's got a pretty clear dodge here, 83%. I want to plan to keep him clear so I could potentially blitz with him if I need to, so I'm not moving him adjacent to anybody to tie them up. This guy is in a lot of trouble. I've got -1s here I can try to get to. I could just leave him down. That's always an option. If I had less agility, I would probably just go ahead and do that.
Risks a turnover.
And I'll just leave him there. So do I want to move my catcher further over down there? How close are the trolls? So the trolls could go for it, at least this one could go for it a couple times to hit him. You can move this goblin down to cover him. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move someplace in a position where he can't put somebody right on him. So I have a really good target that's not being interfered with by any tackle zones or anything like that. Well, it looks like my stream is getting a network error, so maybe Twitch is no longer streaming it, but I am copying it also so I can put it up on my YouTube channel. And that's unfortunate. Kind of sucks if it cut off here in the middle. I'm getting a 2000 network error, whatever that means. I'm assuming it's just not streaming for whatever reason.
Oh, look. Is that no bother?
I haven't checked in a little while, so I'm not sure how long it's been doing that.
Hey, Borak! Sod off, you buckethead!
But I am still recording it as well, so I can throw it up on YouTube later
I've seen mushrooms.
without any problems or anything. Just nobody get to watch it live. Always hoping for that no injury with the trolls there. I didn't do a whole lot, actually. Just kind of moved a few guys over. So I do have some good blocks I can try to make here. And what I think I'm going to start with is a blitz. Hit the guy that's right on the ball carrier, hopefully take him down. Yeah, that sidestep is causing me a little bit of a problem.
Punch will have you fixed down in the mud.
I keep trying to clear the ball carrier here.
One less annoyance to deal with.
Looking for his goblins that don't have block for people that I can go after here with my other guys. If I don't have block, I don't really want to hit somebody who has block. Yeah, we got an injury. That's nice. It's like my first injury. No long-term effect. Yeah, that was pretty quick even for him. I don't know why, of all things that could get glitched, that whether you want to use your apothecary or not seems like something really, really unfortunate to have glitched. Okay, this guy I really do not want next to a troll, so we're going to see if we can move away. And moving the ball forward here is not going to be super easy. I could just throw a block. I've already blitzed with somebody else. I could blitz with him if I hadn't done that, hit this guy, and then continue moving, but I had to blitz with somebody to try to clear up the area. I could go ahead and make the dodges to get through here. It's only a -1, so it's not too terrible. I've got some blocks here as well. I probably want to do the blocks first, just because it'd be nice to actually do some damage if I can. And we both have block. He's got dodge. Doesn't do much.
Intimidation is the key. Strength hides.
Just a whole lot of pushing going on. Staying put so I can have an assist here. Not that I really need it. but he's kind of useful or useless in this position, too far away to get to my ball carrier or anything. Unfortunately, these guys have blocks, so I'm going to do that after I do any other risky stuff, even though I do have 2 dice. See, it doesn't always come up. Even that multiple die advantage really doesn't help sometimes. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go for the dodge to get through here. Okay, we'll use my last reroll. Oh, we go down anyway. That's crappy. And when he gets the ball, that's really bad. I've got nobody on this other side. So hopefully he doesn't make that dodge roll, but he probably will. I've got guys that can possibly chase him down, though, but that's really bad. I'm hoping the ball would end up somewhere out here, be a lot safer, or any of my guys who are adjacent there could have ended up with it. I was going to go ahead and plan to move through and then toss it to the catcher down there. Go ahead and score. Yeah, he's going to get a totally free move here. That's a problem. Probably this catcher here will be the one trying to chase down that ball carrier. If he just runs him down as far as he can go, we'll have to dodge out and go after him there. Oh, that's a weird position. I guess he's heading for the trolls to have some assistance. Like this, the incredibly aggressive block with a disadvantage in strength. AI will do that quite often. Keep hoping he's going to fail a dodge roll or something here. Well, this is not a great position to be in. I need somebody else over here to cancel the tackle zone so I can get a straight up block. I could possibly dodge him out. I can possibly dodge him out. If I can take this guy down, I won't need to dodge out. So we'll try for that first. If I want to hit him, the angle you come in from kind of dictates the angle you can push him to. I can move here and throw a block on the ball carrier without having to go for it, but it means that he's going to get knocked back in this direction, which means most likely the ball is going to end up in that direction. What I'd like to do is knock him this direction, which means I have to come in here. If I do that, I've got to go for it in order to throw that block on him, or I could just move him down here to cancel the tackle zones. Then I can use him to throw the block, but if I'm just pushing him, then I'm pushing him towards my end zone, which is not what I want either. See if I can do anything here to free up another person.
The teams are backed by the powerful great, so you have Clan Sky teams, Clan Eshin teams, and so on.
You lost me after Bob, Jim. Don't talk to me for the next few downs. Haha, here's some friends.
So that cancels one of the tackle zones. I do have a catcher here with pretty good movement who can probably get around. Now that I've kind of cleared that guy out. Yeah, I'd still like to hit from this center square. I can just move him here without having to go for it. So instead, I'm actually just going to move him down. So I have somebody a little bit further in case this goes wrong. So I have somebody else free who can maybe do something to stop him from getting into the end zone. This guy I'd like to get out of that position if I can. I've got no rerolls, so this is definitely a little dangerous, so I should go ahead and do this before I do anything else. I've got some other advantageous blocks and things I could try for. But we're going to have to try for this.
You wearing perfume, Jim?
It's a scent. Very different.
Yeah, that'll take him out. Let's see where the ball ends up. Right next to a troll. I'm going to try to take out his guys adjacent to the ball here if I can. Keep some of my people on the ball, make it difficult for him to pick up. Got one person back. Stay put here because I want to stay adjacent to the ball. Try to dodge out with the lineman, and that's where we're going to fail. No rerolls. Equals turnover at some point. Okay, that helps a little bit, having the really stupid on the guy adjacent to the ball. And another really stupid, hopefully, here. Alright, that was very helpful for me. I just want to quickly check the stream. Yeah, still saying network error, but I have a viewer. I don't know how that works. So, yeah, I don't know if you can actually see what's going on or not. I am recording it, though, so I can put it up on YouTube down the road. But, yeah, very strange. So I'm getting a network error listing, so maybe part of the video is screwed up or part of the stream is gone. I'm not sure what exactly happened. Not sure if I'm streaming right now, actually, but I'm recording it anyway. Okay, what am I going to do about this horrible, horrible situation? The double stupid really does help a lot. I really need to clear the guy off the ball if possible. See if I can take this guy out. Just trying to smack these guys around and see if I can do some damage. Haven't had a lot of luck with the injuries, even though I'm playing against goblins here. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and blitz to hit this guy to get him off of here. Throw a block there to get him off. Maybe just have the lineman grab the ball. I've got my thrower here as well, who's clear, so he would probably be the better choice, and then I can try to get the ball down. So just going to see if I can free up here a little bit. all I've really been doing is kind of pushing him around a lot. The dodge skill does help quite a bit. Keep you on your feet. And I'm going to stay put. I don't want to move adjacent to a troll, even if he is stupid. I'm going to move this guy over, since their tackle zones are canceled because they're really stupid rolls. Have somebody else adjacent to the ball in case things go wrong. And what I'm going to plan to do is move him over so I have an angle that I can get through here out without having to make any rolls if I move over to pick up the ball. So I'm going to use my thrower to come over and pick up the ball, hopefully.
Yes, they picked up the ball.
Okay. This is not a great position to be in because of the trolls being there. I could go ahead and try to toss the ball down the field. So it's actually not bad percentages. 67% on the pass with a reroll, 83% on the catch with a reroll. So I'm going to go ahead and try for it. Yeah, perfect. So I am going to go ahead and do some blocking here before I go ahead and move in for the score. Just because I want to try to hurt his team if I can. I've got some advantageous blocks. Even with no rerolls, I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And that could be my natural inclination to beat up people based on my bruiser team experience kind of coming to the fore. And I probably shouldn't do that and take that risk. But I'm doing it anyway. Actually, in the positions I'm in where I'm close to pushing somebody out, I've got some advantageous blocks. I might want to not score this turn, maybe. Yeah, it's tempting to do that, especially with this guy being right on the edge here. If he doesn't get out of that position, I can push him off the field and have a pretty good chance of hurting him. So I am going to go ahead and stall here. I'm just going to move over as far away as we can from all of his players, kind of hang out here for a turn. I don't think anybody can get to me there. I'm relatively safe. It also burns off some of the time off the clock, so he'll have fewer turns to do anything on his turn once he gets the ball back if I score. And hopefully I will score here. Poor lineman getting hammered by a troll. No injury though. I almost feel like I should do a radio commentary in case only my voice is being put up on Twitch while I'm streaming here or something. I have no idea what's going on. I'm still just seeing the error message. So I don't know if video's being streamed. I don't know if only audio's being streamed. I don't know if nothing's being streamed. He's doing everything he can to save this goblin from getting knocked off the edge of the field. Well, he kind of ruined my best block position that I had. But I'll throw a couple blocks and then we'll just go ahead and go in for the touchdown, I think. So we'll just start out here. Just a push. We'll take this guy down. And we got an injury. Nice. Missed next game. Fractured arm. I've got quite a few blocks I can actually throw with an advantage here. I was looking at this one, but I don't have block and he does, so that would be something I would do kind of the very last. I'd probably want to score before I would even try for that, actually. It'd be nice to get an injury with this blitzer as well, because I just need one star player point. Yeah, just a push, unfortunately. Of course. Alright, we'll throw this one last block here. Yeah, just another push. At least I did get one injury in on him there. So we'll go ahead and score. It'll leave him 2 turns, and then I've got 1 turn left. Also gave that guy a level up. Yeah, I had a viewer earlier, now I'm down to 0. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm even streaming at this point. I'm not sure if there's a way to fix that, but I am saving it, recording it. My knocked out guy comes back, so I can throw it up on YouTube down the road. I'd be curious to see what it looks like after the stream's over. I can take a look at the videos and see.
They should replace that player before they lose any more. Possession is the key to winning.
So I don't think I've pulled this player out yet, so I'm going to go ahead and swap him out. So he has a chance of getting the MVP award. That's something you want to think about, making sure your guys get in rotation. The only guy I haven't put in was my player, the lineman that has the reduced armor value. So he's sort of just an emergency guy at this point, even though he only needs 1 point to level up. And the same thing, I'll just be kind of kicking towards the center because I want it to stay on the field. But high kick result means he'll have a chance to catch it. Hopefully he'll fail. I just want him to have to make those die rolls if it's possible. Nope, he caught it. That's too bad. But he's a little further back. So he just has 2 turns to try to score here. I don't think he's going to be able to. He'd have to run a goblin way up and then try to toss the ball to him. And that still would be really difficult, I would think, to actually get that far with the 6 movement from the positions he started in. Okay, just got a push on my front lineman there by the troll, which is good. Staying on my feet is nice. That lineman's going down, though. I'm waiting for an injury. If it happens, I'm going to have to be super quick on the apothecary result. And I'm just going to go ahead and move down and attack one of the guys on the edge of the cage. See what kind of blocks I can do as well. That's pretty much all I'm going to do on my turn. Try to limit the number of guys that can get blocked by those trolls as well. You know, there's a stun. Not good enough.
A snotling baked in a pie.
That's another goblin going down. Let's see if we get an injury. Nope, but a KO. Doesn't really matter too much at this point in the game, but nice to see. So here I'm just kind of pulling guys back. I know he can't really score. I'm just kind of moving guys away so that there's less chance of him getting blocks in with those trolls. Tying up the other guys that we can if possible. Okay, I'll try to get these guys away from the trolls to make the dodge rolls here. Okay, that's one guy free. And second guy free.
He's coming to help his buddy. That's gonna hurt.
Alright, that'll be about it for my turn. His goblins are actually quite a bit tougher than I would have thought. Having the bombardier and the chainsaw and two trolls and everything really makes things hard to deal with. The fanatic, almost forgot the fanatic. I don't recall being able to have two trolls in the previous game when I played as the goblins. Maybe I could. Can't remember for sure. They definitely didn't have the bombardier, which is somebody that I was hoping that they would have in the previous game, at least in the 360 version of it. So having the bombardier in here too is pretty cool. Well, there's a turnover for the end of the game.
Nothing good comes from spending any time on the ground in this game.
So, let's count.
Alright, that's it. 2-0. Goblins are actually a bit tougher than I expected. I didn't really get a lot of injuries. I think I only did 2. That's a pretty good result for money, so that's okay. Fan factor still 13. You had 2 touchdowns, 2 passes, 9 armor breaks. You had 2 armor breaks, 3 expulsions. I actually had more ball possession than him, which is kind of surprising. I usually have pretty low ball possession because I score really quickly. 2 passes, 2 catches. So I inflicted 2 KOs and 2 injuries, so that's it. Against a Goblin team, that's really low. 92 yards running, 36 yards passing. That's a ton. I had 1 casualty sustained. Star player points, quite a bit for me. So still in first place, 5 wins in this second round robin, 0 draws, 0 losses. Skaven and Chaos Dwarves at 4 wins, 1 draw, second place tie. And then we've got Necromantic and Goblin at 2 wins and 3 losses each. And the other Chaos Dwarf team, 1-4, Vampires 1-4. Kislev Circus, actually no wins or draws, 0-5. So I'll take a look at my guys that'll level up. I'm going to have a crazy team value here pretty soon. Next up will be Chaos Dwarves. Got 2 guys that are leveling up. Actually, my thrower is going up in value. Level up, see what we get. So with him, since I have him deep, kick is somewhat tempting. Sure hands is somewhat tempting because he's often picking up the ball. Dodge wouldn't be a terrible idea. Accurate would be a pretty good idea. Makes his passes even more accurate. +1 to all passing rolls. Yeah, that is really tempting, actually. Yeah, so really kick or accurate are probably what I would lean the most towards. Probably the accurate is more useful because I do throw the ball a lot with him. And with the 4 agility, it's not too crazy hard for me to pick up the ball. I sometimes do mess up. If I had a 3 agility player, I would probably go for the sure hands first before accurate. But with a 4 agility, I'm going to go ahead and go for accurate first. So that gives him a +1 for short, long, and bomb range because of strong arm, and a +1 for accurate, and pass for a reroll. So yeah, really amazing passer building there. And then the catcher that leveled up.
Now have your arm sawn off with a rusty blade. I want it warm. Warm.
He only has catch, and he's also got the passing ability that reduces the effective enemy tackle zones. So dodge is probably what I would want to go for here. Dodge or block? We'll go with the standard dodge, I think. Yeah, Nerves of Steel is the other thing he's got. So the dodge will help him once he's got the ball, getting away with it. So that puts my team value up to 1830, and I've got 160,000 credits, which means it's going up even higher. Everything over 150,000 counts towards a team value, so it's adding 10,000, so I could spend 10,000 on cheerleaders or coaches' assistants, and it would basically just be a wash. Man, my team value is so high. I really would like another reroll, so I think I'm going to do that. So it puts me up to 1870. The opposing team was definitely already going to get a ton of money for stuff, so having the extra reroll doesn't make too much of a difference. Let me just take a look at the ratings here. So my team value is 1870. Next highest looks like Kislev Circus, actually, at 1660. Then we've got Chaos Dwarves at 1530, Goblins at 1500. So quite a bit ahead of everybody else, and that's pretty common with Agile teams. You're scoring so much. You're getting so many star player points for touchdowns and stuff, and passing and things like that. But I think that's going to be about it. Like I said, I'm not even sure I'm streaming at all right now. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not. So I am saving this. So if part of this ends up on Twitch, I am going to put this up on YouTube eventually. I'm a little behind. I usually have a delay of a couple weeks between when stuff's on Twitch and when I put it on YouTube. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to try to speed things up. I'm going to take a look at the video afterwards and see if it's actually any of this was saved onto Twitch at all. But if you watch this at all, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. On Twitch, I'm DisturbingPuppet. On YouTube, I'm DisturbingPuppet. So check me out either place whenever you can. I really do appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you very much. And then I'm going to check and see if any of this actually worked. Thanks. Bye.